without any kind of fear of what could happen to them down the road with any kind of prosecution. So, Chief Justice John Roberts, one thing I do want to say, Caitlin, I had said so many times this morning when I talked to our anchors that past Chief Justices had worked very hard to get unanimity on these kinds of separation of powers cases. You know, in the Nixon case, in the Bill Clinton case, the Supreme Court had been able to do that. But here it was so painful about how splintered they are and how divided they are, not just on ideology, but on politics. So the chief tried to make the best case possible that this was the only way out, but boy, was he met by dissenters. He stressed that the separation of powers protects the office of the presidency in a way that would certainly prohibit any kind of prosecution for official acts. And he said there has to be that presumption for official acts. And, you know, he stressed that fear and that idea that presidents should not have to hedge in any way. Then when Justice Sotomayor began her dissent from the bench, her voice was really dripping with disdain, and she talked about how the majority was making a mockery of the notion of that no man is above the law. And she at several points even addressed the audience and said, you know, how hard could this be to resolve it with a way that it really comports with history? Do you think it's hard? You know, so she was just quite impassioned, and as I said, had this mocking tone in her voice. In the end, she talked about what a law-free zone the majority had drawn around the president with this kind of a ruling. You know, as I said, just a very riveting set of back and forth between these two that pointed up what you see there on the printed page, Caitlin.
Yeah, that is fascinating.